What's up? Welcome into your daily Buckeye Blitz for a Friday. Finally, Friday. Let's finish the week off right. And let's talk some wide receivers. How's that sound? Some splash plays all over the place. I appreciate everybody joining me. Don't forget, we got the Buckeye Rush Hour today at 4:30 p.m. Eastern. Please hop in the chat. Your questions and comments will drive the show. So still not sure what we're talking about yet, but I'll let you know. Get back to me. Anyways, appreciate everybody joining me today. Please subscribe, share with a friend. It'd be awesome if you shared with friends or family members. We're really trying to push through this summer and continue to grow. You guys have killed it. We still have a lot of people watching though that aren't subscribed. So appreciate you to put the pressure on them, lean on them. So today we're talking receivers. The question I have for you, can Ohio State have 3 1,000-yard receivers in 2023? What do you think? We had 2 last year. It was pretty easy. Kind of went under the radar. How about 3? Can we manage 3? Well, let's talk about them. All right, let's get serious here. We're going to move closer. So you got returning starters: Marvin Harrison Jr., Emeka Egbuka, Julian Fleming. No problem. Then you got Xavier Johnson, Jaden Ballard came in the same class with Emeka and Marv. What I guess we'll get into some splits later. I broke it out by number of catches by the entire room, so we'll get into that at the end. But so you also have an incoming class of 4 studs. 3 of them, came in early in January. Brandon Ennis is on campus now. He came in early this month. So you got 2 of the second-year guys that moved on. Caleb. Yeah, we lost 2 Calebs. So Heartline, though, can sell a wide open depth chart in recruiting in 2024, so that's a bonus. You got Jeremiah Smith, the big time 5-star all everything out of South Florida, currently committed. We have a ton of star power in this room. You had Emeka and Julian Fleming out for the spring. Marv was limited. Then you had first, second, and third-year guys vying for spots in the 2 deep this spring. So, and going into fall, we saw the 2 guys bounce. That's fine. But what I like is the way they moved Marv around in the spring. He, excuse me, there hasn't been a number 1 draft pick, a wide receiver, since 1996, Keyshawn Johnson out of USC. That's insane, right? Especially the way the game has evolved. And we're seeing guys like Devontae Smith win the Heisman and stuff. So still not a number 1 draft pick in the NFL draft at wide receiver. So I think that's going to change next year. He has everything you need to be an elite NFL wide receiver. Still needs to continue to perfect his game and kind of hone it down, and work on some details. But I think he probably would have been a top 10 pick if he were eligible for this year's draft, But so we know what Marv is, right? He had 77 catches, 1,263 yards. That's a nice little 16.4 yard average, 14 touchdowns. You know what I mean? Then you got Emeka. He came damn close to matching Marv, really. 74 catches, 1,151 yards, and 10 touchdowns. Nice little 15.6 yard average. And those 2 guys, that was 13 games, by the way. Only 13 games. Keep that in mind. No Big Ten championship and no national championship games. So with Emeka, he's definitely going to be a first rounder too next year in the draft. So he has the ability to get open, catch the ball, and make plays in open field. We saw it time and time again last year. Played both outside and down in the slot. He has value also as a kickoff and punt returner. It will be interesting to see if they ever move him back there, back to the return position where he showed flashes, as a freshman, almost broke a few kick returns. So, Emeka is definitely a 1,000-yard guy, no doubt about it. Now things get a little murkier. You got Julian Fleming. Brian Hartline says that Fleming belongs in a first-round draft pick conversation. I don't know. He's got to be healthy. That's always been his drawback, his negative, availability. The best ability is availability. 6'2", 205, great speed, caught 6 touchdown passes in a 5-game stretch. He has to stay healthy to prove that he's a top of the line receiver and to show he's a complete receiver this season. The injury setbacks have just held him back, and he needs to expand his route tree, show consistency. Last year he had third on the receiving room with 34 catches. Only played in 11 games, though. Keep that in mind. Injuries obviously held him out. Had 533 yards, a 15.7 average. That's nothing to sneeze at. And and 6 touchdowns. So makes plays, in the open field. But again, got to be healthy, got to be on the field, and you got to be consistent. So then we got wide receiver / running back, mostly wide receiver right now, unless we get more running back injuries again. But Xavier Johnson, the X-Man, the X factor. Hartline is huge on him. He feels that Xavier is an NFL prospect. Maybe not first rounder necessarily. He just hasn't had the production, but he has all the makings of an NFL player. Began as a walk-on at Ohio State. Let's see, he had 279 yards is what I have. No, that's not right. I got 12 games played, 13 catches, 151 yards, 2 touchdowns. So he's got a versatile skill set and plenty of special teams experience too. Remember him covering kickoffs and things like that. Need to give him more touches though, so he can move up, draft boards for the NFL draft and just to get more production on film, right? So then you got Jaden Ballard here. So he came in same draft class or same recruiting class 2021 with Emeka and Marv. Don't forget Fleming is a year older than Jaden, Emeka, and Marv. So just have to keep that in perspective. So Jaden Ballard, what are you getting there? It's hard to say. He only played in 7 games last year. 8 receptions, 155 yards, had a 19.4 average, which is, good, real good, and 1 touchdown. So we know his deal. He's just fast, right? Ballard is going to go. We saw him in spring practice. He torched Jordan Hancock on a go route. So dude can do it. It's just, they say he has the best hands in the room. He just has to be consistent, and get on the field. That's the tough part with this room. Getting on the field is the most difficult when you're behind, three starters. So then you got the young guys. You got Carnell Tate, Brandon Innes, the 5-star is on campus. Then you got the young guys, Rogers and Rogers, the law firm of Rogers and Rogers, and the second-year guys, Kojo. I don't know if we're going to see much out of them, but Keon Grays, we hadn't seen much of him. He redshirted last year, so not sure what you can bank on from those guys. So here are my total catches for the room broken down. I took the average of the last 2 seasons, the average total catches by receivers only, just receivers. This doesn't include tight ends, running backs, all this shit. 240 total receptions was the average over the last 2 years. So Marv, 75. I'm giving him 75. That's basically what he had last year. He had 77. I think he easily eclipses 1,000 yards. and definitely gets over 10 touchdowns, probably at least a dozen. So Marv gets 75. So subtract that from the 240, that leaves 90 from Emeka. I think Emeka in the slot is going to be deadly. Defenses are going to factor or focus on Marv. They're going to over rotate, bring in an extra corner, do whatever they have to do, bring a safety up to help cover Marv. And that opens the middle of the field wide ass open for Emeka. I think Emeka goes off, has a big, almost a JSN like, 90 catch season, and has a huge season. I think he actually has more yards receiving and touchdowns than Marvin Harrison Jr. this year, just because teams are going to be so focused on Marv that they're going to do everything they can to shut him down, with double coverages and shit like that. Hell, maybe even triple. They may bring in another nickel, shit like that on Marv. But I think Emeka goes off, works that middle of the field, gets open. He becomes that JSN, gets open in space, finds the hole, and then makes a play after the catch. Julian Fleming, I think he definitely gets more playing time as long as he's healthy. You got to remember health factors into this entire equation. So that leaves 50 catches. I'm going up in the ante for Julian Fleming. I think he can stay healthy. He had more work on his shoulder in the offseason. So I think he had 34 catches last year for 533 and 6 touchdowns. I got him 50 catches and close to 700 yards receiving, and probably another half dozen touchdowns, something to that effect, 6 or 8, something like that. So 50 catches. Fleming proves that he is an NFL player. Cross your fingers, knock on wood, whatever, that he stays healthy. So 50 for Julian. Now, I combined Jaden Ballard, Carnell Tate, and all the second-year guys. You can include Brandon Ennis because I think he's going to see the field eventually. So all the second-year guy, the 2 second-year guys, Kojo and Keon, I got 25 catches combined for Jaden Ballard, Carnell Tate, Brandon Ennis. I don't know if the Rogers and Rogers guys get too many catches, if any. One of them, maybe two of those 4 have to redshirt, most likely, I would think. And then Kojo and Keon in that mix. So 25 catches is all I got left for Ballard, Tate, Ennis, Rogers and Rogers, Kojo, and Keon. So that gives me 240. I don't think we're going to throw it much more than we have the last 2 years. You're looking at 2 years ago was CJ's first year. So first year quarterback in the system, threw it plenty, and then really backed it up last year with similar type of distribution, through the air. So, and again, I think they're still going to have to lean on the run early on to get Kyle, comfortable and get his feet wet and everything in the first few weeks. So that's what I got. Let me know what you guys got on 240 total catches in the room. Let me know what you got from Marv, Emeka, Julian, and then Jaden, the freshman, and the second-year guys. So appreciate you. Hit subscribe. We'll be talking some recruiting here shortly. I'll talk to you later. Go Bucks.